This is John Kohler with GrowingYourGreens.com here at the 2012 National Hardware Show, which also includes the Lawn and Garden and Outdoor Living Pavilion. And this pavilion is full of all kinds of gardening and outdoor living things to enrich your life. Well, a lot of them, in my opinion, don't enrich your life, but what I'm going to do today is go inside and share with you some of the items that will allow you to grow more food at home. There's really some cool items this year, so I'm excited to bring them to you. That being said, you don't need any items to grow food at home. Some items can make it more convenient, but you could just get some compost, pile it up, and start planting it and growing today without anything. That being said, some items can actually make it a lot easier so that you can grow more food, and that is my message to you. Grow more food however you can. So let's go inside and check out some of the new products this year. This is the Emsco Group, and they have a lot of different products here that'll let you grow more food, including this guy. And I showed this guy last year. I like it a lot. This is called the City Pickers Patio Garden Kit. And you can see this is literally a self-contained raised bed kit that's actually self-watering. So this makes growing food really easy. The new products they have for this year are, they got a Little Pickers kit. So the Little Pickers and the City Pickers are identical. The Little Pickers is kind of more marketed towards children, and I encourage everybody, especially if you have kids, to grow some food and get your kids involved in the growing process so they could really learn where food comes from. And as a byproduct, they're probably going to eat more fruits and vegetables too. Another product that's really cool that's going to be coming out soon is this guy right here. This is called the Hydro Pickers, and this is actually going to be underneath the $100 mark, maybe around 80 bucks. So that's really inexpensive for a hydroponic system. They're using their base of the City Pickers, and then they are also going to include some hydroton, a pump, and the nutrient solution. And now they're just going to circulate the water in there and then be able to grow hydroponically. So I like that a lot. It's on wheels. You can move it around. Actually, all these guys come on wheels. This is going to be a nice, affordable kit to grow hydroponically. That being said, I always encourage you guys to grow in soil, especially if you're new gardeners. It's just a whole lot easier. Another product they'll be bringing to market really soon are this guy right here. It's a 24-inch deck and porch rail planter. So if you have a deck, you can now grow plants on top of your deck. They have versions that are just the planter, and they also have a self-watering planter as well. Really smart. Now, the Emsco Group's been making plastics, and they have a lot of different products made of plastics for a long time. And they're using the HDPE plastic, which is UV stable and resistant. It's also one of the harder plastics. So if you are growing in plastics, I always encourage you to use the HDPE plastic, which is probably one of the safest. Here's yet another great raised bed kit idea, and I like this one a lot because this company made sheds for like 40 years. And nice and strong, and your sheds are out in the weather day in, day out, and they have to last. And especially it's more important that your sheds don't leak and get all your stuff inside messed up. So now they're taking the same technology they're using in the sheds and they're putting that into a raised bed kit. And here it is. This is the Hexies Raised Bed Garden Kit. It actually says 5-year warranty, but it's actually going to come with a 10-year warranty. Check it out. This stuff is made out of steel, and they're going to have a galvanized finish and then a painted finish. It looks really nice and easy. And one of the big problems with growing food in a raised bed is constructing or building the raised bed. This is one of the simplest. I know there's another simpler one over here that you just throw out, but this is one of the simplest raised beds, and I like this because it's nice and tall. The taller your raised bed is, the more soil you could pack in. The more soil there is, the more nutrition there is for the plants, and your plants are going to grow just that much better. Check out how easy this is to assemble. You're just going to take one of these things right here, and you're going to take the bracket, and they're going to have different shapes and sizes available. This is the Hex kit. You literally just line these up, and it goes like that. And once you got it together, you just take another piece here, slide it down until you're all set up. So they got the Hex kit, and they also have the Square kit. I much like the Square kit because the Square kit you could actually kind of do the square foot gardening thing better. But even in this kit, it's awesome. And check it out. Here's some that are already pre-built. You can kind of see how they have this set up, and they're even going to have a version with a built-in kind of greenhouse. And that could close and keep your plants warm. I really like this kit a lot. This kit is expected to retail for about $70, hopefully pretty soon. This company is from Australia, so they're currently working on a distribution and getting distribution in the USA. Now we're at another booth, and one of the problems that I have when growing food vertically is that you always have problems staking and trellising things up. If you're growing in a small residential space, you don't have a lot of acreage to let things sprawl out, so you got to grow vertically. So we're at the booth of Panacia, which funnily means cure-all, and they got the cure for all your vertical growing problems. They have a myriad of cages, many of which are made in the United States of America. Always support buying in the USA whenever possible to support our economy instead of foreign economies. And they have so many different products, and I'm just going to go over a few of them today. This is actually the upside down or inverted cage. You can see, most tomato cages look like this. This one goes upside down, and there's a reason for this. Say you forget to buy your cage, as many people do. I've done that 1,000 times. You could buy this cage and put it on your tomato plant that's already been established, and you won't break branches like you would if you had a traditional cage. They have cages actually that are galvanized and also that are powder coated and in different thicknesses. So, depending on your budget, you can get the thin ones or thicker ones. I always encourage you guys to buy good and buy heavy duty durable cages the first time, because you will be able to use those for years and years. The thinner ones, may break and you'll have problems with, get us something nice and heavy duty and use it for a long time. One of their new products here is this guy right here. This is called the Kearney Climbers, and this is a groovy way to add support to climbing plants. I like this a lot. You could use this as a standalone trellis, and it's nice and tall, for like 7 feet. Goes in the ground, maybe a couple feet, so you're about 6 feet out of the ground. You could grow peas, beans, up this, also even things like tomatoes. If you take one of these guys and interlock them, you can even make like a little cage in the middle going up the sides. So this, you can make a nice wall, and I like all the nice colorful colors. On the back side, we're going to take a look at their heavy-duty 6-foot-tall tomato cage if you are growing in compost and rock dust. If you're not, then you're probably just going to need a small one. But when you grow in nutrient-dense soil, your plants are going to show it. They're going to grow bigger and produce more for you. So I want to encourage everybody to grow in compost and rock dust, and high-quality stuff at that. Check my other videos for some info on that. They have a myriad of different cages here, including these little like tomato ladders and other stakes and supports. What I want to cover right now is this guy. This is the tomato tower, and this guy is literally like 6 feet tall, made in the USA. Nice heavy-duty construction, and it folds flat for storage. So if you are growing tomatoes that get too tall, you definitely want to get one of these. And once again, it's going to cost you a little bit, but it's definitely a wise investment that you could use year after year. Here's yet another booth that has something really valuable. I mean, most people are not lucky enough to live in California, and they live in other places where your season may be terribly short. And so you need a way to extend your growing season. And right here, this is called the Grow It Now Plant Protector, and this product allows you to do just that. Actually, the inventor here is a gardener. He grows his own food, and he invented these so that he could extend his growing season. He's in probably one of the worst places to grow, Idaho. He has a very short growing season. He still has snow. Actually, right now, it's like, May, he still has snow there. But with this product, he could actually grow things for a longer period of time. Really smart and really intelligent. I mean, to sum it up in just a few words, this is a greenhouse for individual plants, and they're actually quite affordable. So let me go ahead and show you guys how this works. This is the Grow It Now Plant Protector. It's just a single piece of plastic. You would put it over your plant right there, and it has little tabs on it, so you could actually put stakes in it to secure it to the ground. You could also just cover the tabs up with some dirt or put the stakes in there. You could also keep this actually open on the top, so that'll let some of the heat out if you don't want it too hot. Also, you could close this up. So if you close this up during the daytime, it'll just basically heat up like a little miniature greenhouse. In addition, if your climate gets cold at night and a little bit warm in the day, you can even use things like, basically water bottles, plastic bottles with water as thermal mass in there that'll release the heat at night. Besides just for the heat factor and extending your growing season, you could extend your early season planting your plants, but you could also use this to plant your seeds outside. Many seeds, especially vegetable seeds, summer crops, like certain temperatures. And when you could actually put this over the top, it heats the soil, warms your soil up. So then your plants are going to start from seed outside instead of having to start them inside a little bit sooner. In addition, they're going to be working on taller models, so you can actually use it at the end of your growing season to extend your growing season at the end of the season as well. Besides just the heat aspect, you could also use this to protect your plants from wind. So I like that a lot, especially in places that's really windy, because not only do they have the cold in Idaho, they also have winds that whip the plants, and especially young plants are more susceptible to wind damage than mature ones. So I like this product a lot, nice and affordable, and I'm excited to get a couple samples and try them at home too. Now we're at yet another booth, and this is a booth I spent significant time at the other day learning about these products. So this booth here is actually Romberg, and they're actually from Germany. You can see the German flag colors up there. And you know, this is a really smart product. They're using coconut coir, but in a whole new and different way. So I am a big advocate of using coconut coir, and I've had some experience with coconut coir, and it wasn't always the best, as good as it should have. And that's because coconut coir quality can vary widely. A lot of it comes from India and the Philippines and other places, and maybe they don't wash it well, maybe it has too high salts. I mean, there's so many reasons why it may not be that good. And this is literally German engineered coconut coir, so that you're gonna get the best performance, and they've really thought things out. So let's take a look at some of their products and learn more about them. First thing I wanna talk about are the little pellets. So these are coir pellets. Instead of using peat pellets, coir is a sustainable resource. A coconut tree can't produce like 100 nuts on average a year, and that's a lot of coconut fiber that it makes. And that fiber can be made into little pellets like this. And if you've ever used peat pellets, one of the common problems with peat pellets is that the netting around the peat pellet, it's actually made out of a plastic, and many plants can't get their roots through there. So I would advise you, if you do use peat pellets, to rip off the netting, because it's gonna really constrict your plants. And actually that happened to me earlier this year. These are designed really smart, really well. Number one, they don't use the plastic on here. These coir pellets are actually lined with paper, and let me show you how that works when they're expanded. These are the coir pellets that are expanded, and this is just the paper. And they do paper only on the sides, and this will degrade unlike the plastic. In addition, what's really smart is on the bottom, there's actually no paper, so the roots can easily grow through the bottom. In addition, these coir pellets are pre-impregnated with an organic fertilizer, so that you're gonna get perfect growth every single time. If you don't want the paper lining, that's all right, they make that too, but remember, if without the lining, the coir is not gonna keep its nice shape, and it's just gonna turn into a blob. And then you're gonna get something like this. And look at this. This is their coir. Look how dark, deep, and rich that looks. The reason why I like the coconut coir is because it will retain water, and many soils don't retain water. So when you add a mixture of coir with your soil and compost, it's then going to be able to furnish the water your plants need. Another thing I want to talk about are these little trays here. As you can see, these trays are green instead of the standard black. Many standard black trays are actually made from recycled plastics, and many people don't know that. Recycled plastics could be made from anything, and they may contain toxins. So they use only virgin plastics here, and they're scrupulous to make sure and ensure that these are some of the healthiest plastics to use. In addition, besides these small little inexpensive trays to start in, which also are German engineered, designed really well, because you could see here on these trays it has actually a little water trough area, so that the water could go to the coconut coir pellets and then expand them. The other thing that's really cool about this, and I'll have this in an upcoming episode, is that these guys expand literally in 30 seconds. I don't know if you've ever expanded peat pellets, but it takes, you know, a few minutes to do those guys. These guys expand really fast. It's amazing. In addition, they got the other sizes. They got a large size of the pellets here, and this is the compressed version. This is the uncompressed version. And also I like that this is more sustainable to have actually real plastics and heavy duty ones that could be used year after year, instead of the inexpensive cheap ones that you constantly have to replace because they break down over time. So the main thing I've learned at this booth is that not all coir products are created equal, and hopefully you want to look for the Romberg coconut coir products, hopefully near you soon. Next, I found a really valuable product that could probably help all you guys grow more effectively, and it's called the InGauge, and this is a real simple and easy to use soil moisture tester, indoor and outdoor use year round. And check it out, does your plants look like this, or do your plants sometimes look like this guy? This is overwatering. Overwatering can hurt your plants, and so can underwatering. I've heard something like 75% or maybe even a little bit more of plants lose their life because of you guys are loving it or not loving it too much. People think, oh, I love my plants, I'm gonna give it more water to show my love. But if you're overwatering it, you could get things like root rot. And if you're underwatering it, then your basically plant won't have enough moisture and it's not gonna make it. So this gauge is a very simple concept to prevent you from overwatering and also underwatering. So let's check it out. Many people that are into it may be familiar with a standard moisture meter. These things aren't too expensive, but the problem with these guys is you can't leave these guys out, because if you leave these guys out, it's gonna fail, because I've actually had ones go bad on me. And plus you gotta figure out how to read it and how to do it and all this stuff. So they have a unique product here. It's right here. This is called the InGauge Soil Moisture Tester. It's very simple. I mean, literally, this is a dipstick for your soil. Very simple and easy to use. And let me explain how it works. we're gonna go take this and put it into a plant. You could do this in a potted plant or in your raised bed garden. You're just gonna stick it in. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull it out. And once you pull it out, you're gonna see in these little cutouts here, here's the new one, you could see in certain areas there's soil in it. So if there's soil in there, that means the soil is wet, and that means that there's water to that level. So you can see the bottom one has soil, this one has soil, this one has soil, this one has a little bit of soil, it's sticking a little bit, but up here it's not wet at all. So now you know that, down in this part of the container, it's nice and wet, but the top is not, it's still dry. Many people may test their plants with their finger and stick their finger in the soil, but you know what? Your finger only goes that far, plus you're gonna get your nails dirty like I just did. So this is a very affordable, convenient product so that you can now be aware of the water levels in your plants so you won't overwater or underwater. Next, we're gonna look at another new product. Now this product is gonna be very interesting. This is actually called the iGrow, and this is a unique product that I've never seen or heard of before. What this does is actually takes the power of the sun and it generates negative ions for the plants. And some people in the know that that may help increase growth 30 to 50%, and also may prevent bugs from wanting to be on your plants. So I don't know if this works or not yet, but it's a unique and exciting concept, and I'll be sure to be testing this out real soon. Now I'm outside the gardening area, and I'm now in the paint area of the hardware show, and I'm here, and I actually walked the whole show floor. It took me about 1.5 days to get through the whole thing to find the handful of products I'm sharing with you guys today. This next product is really valuable. I don't encourage people to use pressure-treated woods to build raised beds. People might use those because they don't rot out, but I encourage people to use real wood that's not preserved with maybe toxins, because guess what? Whatever you're growing in, it might be getting into your food, and then you may be eating those things. And what they're offering here at the Echo Wood Treatment booth is a non-toxic, proprietary mineral-based formula that's going to be able to treat your wood so that it will be more rot and fungus resistant. And this is it right here. One of the things I like about this is very easy and convenient. This is a water-based formula, so it cleans up with water. You basically take some of the powder in here, mix it into the water, and then you could actually paint, brush, spray it on, or even better yet, dip your wood into the product to submerge it in there. This only comes in one color right here. You can't tint it, although I don't recommend that. And here's an example of redwood being treated with this product. Has a nice color to it. Here's an example of a fence board being treated with the product. This is a one-time application, which is really nice. Basically use it once and forget about it. Your wood is now going to be preserved. If you are using it in your raised bed, you want to definitely coat the back and put maybe a double or even triple application, because the rot is going to happen where there's the most moisture contact with your wood. There's another product that I'm super excited about. It's a product that allows you to grow food vertically pretty much anywhere, on a wall, on your house. I mean, this thing, you can even hang it. It's so intelligent. This is actually from New Zealand, from the Kiwis down there. And here it is right here. This is called the Polanter. And you can see this is a hanging, well, this one's hanging anyways. It's a hanging vertical growing system. Has 12 holes right here. And the thing I like about this is not just a growing system, it has a built-in watering system. Because the thing with these setups like this, some people usually drip them down the top and whatnot, but this one has a built-in watering system, and it's really simple to use. You get a standard hose with a quick disconnect. You just connect that on there like that, snaps in place, and then this planter is watered by using recycled rubber. The plastic is a polypropylene that's UV stabilized and also frost proof. And I'm not saying your plants that you put in here are gonna be frost proof, but the plastic definitely is. Let's take a look at this actually in use. And you can see here, they have one literally on just a 4x4 post. So this is now, you can grow in places that you wouldn't normally be able to grow. They got strawberries planted in this one. Here's 12 different holes, and then you could also plant on the top, or you could put a cap over the top if you want that look. You could also, stack one on top of the other to get, multiple stories and grow a lot of food in a small space. Another reason why I like this product is that it comes in a wide variety of colors, and the colors are actually not painted, they're actually just molded that specific color. So you could pretty much match any decor. Here's one that they have some flowers planted in, looks really nice. And besides just growing things vertically, and here's a front door, you could put it underneath your light of your front door. You put two side by side, dress up any entryway. So besides putting it vertically, the cool thing about this one is that you could also use it horizontally. And here's it growing horizontally. They got some flowers underneath the window as like instead of using a flower pot thing, they got these growing horizontally. In addition, up here you can see that they are hanging. So not only can you mount these, vertically, horizontally, you could also hang them. So you can truly now grow some food anywhere. Now we're at a booth that actually I covered last year and I'm covering again because this booth has some really valuable products that I like a lot. So I often encourage people to grow in something like a wine barrel or whiskey barrel. But the problem with that is that many people can't find those and that they're all made out of wood. And I recommend using recycled materials like that whenever possible. But if you're gonna buy something, you wanna buy something like this. This is from Susquehanna Garden Concepts, and this guy is a wood, cedar wood, which is one of the best woods to use outdoors. Either I recommend cedar or redwood, but it also has a plastic bottom. And many planters have wooden bottoms, and the problem with that is that guess where the water goes when you water? It goes down to the bottom, and the bottom will rot out before the sides. But in these guys, which are all made in the USA, they have plastic bottoms. Really smart, real intelligent. The next thing I wanna show you guys is this. This is their waist height raised bed kit. So this is for people that don't wanna bend over. And the smart thing about this is the only one that I know of that's actually wood sides. And it also has that plastic bottom, so it actually won't rot out. There's that plastic bottom right there. And here's even a smaller version of it. You can see how it looks. This is the recycled plastic on the bottom, so it won't rot out. I mean, these guys are doing the right thing, made in the USA. I love this company a lot, and I wish they had good distribution on the West Coast. Next, we're actually going to talk to Chuck, who founded the company, and actually, he has an amazing story to tell.
Hey, John,
All right, Chuck,
how's it going?
How's it going?
Good. We met you last year, John, and things went fantastic after we saw your videos. And my wife actually brought all this stuff. We made the product, hardly used it. Now we're growing our own food, feeding my kids, doing tomato plants, peppers. We got watermelons growing in the backyard. All that stuff.
Wow, just because of my videos?
Because of your videos.
Wow, that's
and
awesome.
We've been following you, so it was fantastic meeting you, and we appreciate what you do.
All right, man, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
And thanks for supporting our product, and hopefully we'll be out on the West Coast a little bit more.
Awesome, man. And I'm really envious of Chuck's garden because his raised bed garden in his backyard, he's using all his product right here, so it's all waist height, so he doesn't have to bend over. So it's the end of the show. I had a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, learned a few things at the same time, learned about some products that could allow you to grow more food at home. Luckily to say, I got a few of them with me today. We got the Polanter, and I also got a City Pickers patio garden kit. So stay tuned for future episodes where I set this up and show you guys how easy it is to grow in this and also in the City Pickers kit. I love this a lot. Once again, it's just so simple and convenient. Once again, my name is John Kohler with growingyourgreens.com. We'll see you next time and keep on growing. And this.
Your attention, please. The National Hardware Show has now ended.